And today is Thursday. It is Thursday, April, probably the 9th. So if you don't already know that, don't take my word for it. So check your calendar if it's that important, because I am not a great source of date and time at this stage of the game. I'm going to turn some more lights on. My natural light in here is not great right now. Lights galore. And thanks everybody for coming. So let's get into this. I'd like to do a nice energetic and active practice. So I'm going to come down to the mat. We'll start seated. Come to your comfortable seated position. I'm going to sit with legs crossed. Just, crisscross applesauce. If you're not a yogi. Otherwise, you can come into your lotus. You can sit with your legs extended. You can lay on your back. You can sit in a chair, whatever's comfortable. So just come to a comfortable position to start the practice. If you're seated, I like to put my hands on my thighs, resting palms up. I think I need to turn my music down a little bit. While I'm doing that, bring your focus into your breath. Take a nice deep breath in. Let it just be aware of the first one. Don't change anything yet. Be aware of that breath. Find your seat where you're sitting. Bring the focus to the seat, to the earth and how it's supporting your body. And then the next time you take a nice deep breath in, bring the shoulders over the hips, a nice tall spine, a nice long neck. If you can imagine that you have the vertebrae stacked one on top of the other, so that the muscles of the back can sort of relax in this upright position. I'm taking this anatomy class, John. It's fascinating to me the way the body is connected. And check and see how your pelvis is sitting, if that affects how your back is positioned or how your back feels in the position. You want to shift the pelvis a little bit. The shoulders are square, the spine is tall. Take another big deep breath in, way down deep into the belly, and let the belly expand. And then as you exhale, really exhale all the breath to the bottom of the lungs so the belly button pushes back towards the spine, really engaging your core to really get all that stale air out of the bottom of the lungs. Take a moment. Take a couple more slow breaths. Nice and deep. Bring the focus into the mind. You've already felt the body, now feel the mind, quieting the mind. Relax the eyes, behind the eyes, and the back of the head. Just slowing down for a moment. I know how it feels. I came to my mat kind of rushed today. And even in this time of slowing, we still find ourselves in that position. So just let your mind slow down. Your heart rate will slow. Yoga and meditation are great tools for improving your health at so many levels, physically and emotionally, spiritually and mentally. I'm going to check my posture one more time. I felt myself sinking back a little bit, getting very relaxed, but I still want it to be an active seated pose. So I don't want to hunch over. I don't want to allow my back to round, or I don't want to start leaning back, which of course is actually a little harder because you have to engage your core. But so just check your alignment, and then let's drop the right ear to the right shoulder. You guys know I like to start at the top with the neck. As the right ear comes to the right shoulder, the opposite shoulder drops just a little. It's an active stretch if you want to release the left hand down to the mat. Just the fingertips stretching through the left side. Bring the hand back down to the lap. Inhale the head back up to center. And gently and slowly exhale the left ear to the left shoulder. Take your time. One side may feel different than the other. If you dropped the opposite shoulder down towards the floor and release that arm out, go ahead and do that now, whatever you do on the other side. Bring the hand back to the lap, inhale back up to center, exhale the chin up to the sky. Don't allow the head to fall too far back. The goal here is to feel that stretch in the throat, right through the front of the neck, perhaps even down through the chest a little bit if you want to extend the bottom teeth beyond the top teeth to deepen that stretch. And then release the teeth, exhale the chin down into the chest, keeping the back nice and square. The shoulder square, the spine is tall. Breathing here. And from here, let's just kind of rock the head from side to side, rock the right ear to the right shoulder, drop it back down, left ear comes to the left shoulder. Very slowly rocking, releasing the lower back. Sorry, that there had some little extra tension in the neck apparently. Catches, so when it catches, just slow it down through that one spot. Give it a little extra tension, a little time, a little extra stretch. Come back to center with the chin down. Inhale the chin up, nice tall spine. Let's bring the arms out to the side. Inhale up, nice and tall, stretching. And then gently fold forward, just coming into a nice gentle forward fold with your legs. Just wherever they are, if that's where you're comfortable, make any adjustments. We're just releasing the lower back here and releasing the neck as well. So as you round the back, release the head towards the floor and feel that stretch in your lower back. I have my arms extended overhead, which is comfortable for me. I love to feel that wide, that broad stretch between my shoulder blades and all through my back. So release the head down, take a big deep breath right into your heart space, but in the back. So when we talk about our chakras or our energy centers, we often forget that it's not just the front of the body, it's the back as well. So breathe into the back between the shoulder blades, activating your heart center. Allow your exhale to be complete, and then when you're ready to inhale, walking the hands in, leading with the crown of the head, coming up with a nice straight back. Let's go into a twist. So we're gonna take the left hand, bring the left hand to my right knee. I'm taking my right hand directly up overhead and just sort of spinning around, just a gentle rotation in the lower back. So my right hand's down by my hip on the floor. My arms straight. I'm kind of using it as a kickstand to keep my spine tall. My left hand is on my right knee. My gaze is just to the right, or if you want a little deeper stretch, you can take it behind you across the right shoulder, adding that little extra twist in the neck. Take a nice deep breath in as you sit up nice and tall. Feel the air, really bring energy into the body, and exhale, release. Shake it out a little, and then we're gonna take the right hand to the left knee. Left hand comes up overhead, nice big circle, bringing it right down to the back of the mat. Palm comes down to the floor. Take your time getting there. We're not in a hurry. We're gonna hold this pose for a couple breaths. Find your alignment. So the left hand is down by the hip. The spine is tall. The right hand on the left knee. My gaze for now is just to the left. And then when I take a couple deep breaths, I'm going to allow my gaze to come across my left shoulder and go a little deeper into the pose as I exhale. Allow the last exhale to be complete, and then release back to center. Let's bring the legs out in front. Really flex all the way through the toes. I don't know if you can see, it looks like you can see my feet all the way to the, and so my heels are actually up off the floor. All of my leg muscles are engaged. So everything is engaged from the top all the way down. Spread the toes nice and wide. Squeeze the toes in, just the toes. So I'm still flexed, just the toes. And then I'm gonna point the feet, point the toes, point the feet. If you have a cramp, come out of this one. You wanna feel a nice stretch to the tops of the feet though. And then if you can do that one, then bring the toes back. And flex the feet. One more time, we're gonna spread the toes nice and wide, feet are flexed. Squeeze the toes, feet are still flexed. And then point the toes, engaging all the way up through the leg, if that's comfortable for you. And then make some space and do some circles with your ankles. Allow it to go all the way up into your hips, and then reverse. And remember to breathe, and then shake it out. We're going to take the bottoms of the feet together, coming into our bound angle or our butterfly pose. So the bottoms of the feet are together. Let the knees fall open and relax into the pose. Check your sitting bones. If you want to pull the flesh away from the sitting bones, if it makes you feel a little more secure in your seated position. If you want to rock the pelvis backwards, rock it forwards, find that spot that's comfortable for you. We're going to start with the crown of the head up to the sky, a nice flat back, and then just start hinging from the hips, and then release the shoulders and around the back, and then release the head one more time into a forward fold. Oh, I love this one. It just feels so good. And just rest here for a moment. Now, one of my favorite things to say when I was teaching prenatal was the body does not open by force, because when you're having a baby, it kind of does. But in everyday yoga, your body is not going to open by force. Just allow it to fall open. Let gravity do its job. Let your body relax into it, because you will find that you can open more when you relax into it and breathe into it than if you force it. Don't force your knees open. Don't force the forward fold. The next time you inhale, leading with the crown of the head, let's come back up to our central, your center line, and just shake it out. We're going to come up to all fours. This goes so fast. We're going to do cat and cow. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Check your alignment, nice flat back in a tabletop. The neck is long. And then take a moment to feel tabletop. It's an active position, tops of the feet on the floor, really pressing into it. And we're going to inhale, rocking the tailbone high. The gaze comes up and the belly drops. As you exhale, allow the tailbone to drop, the shoulders to drop, push the belly up to the sky, drop the head between the arms. And then inhale, bring the tailbone high, the head comes up, the gaze comes forward and up, the belly button drops. Follow your breath, exhaling as you push the cat with the back high, and then inhaling as you come into your cow. Do a couple more breaths. Follow your own breath. I always say there's still movement to be found if you're still breathing. So take your time moving into the pose so you can find that movement right at the end there. And then exhale, let's come back to table. Let's go ahead and bring the big toes together. If you want to take the knees a little bit wider, we're going to push the hips back towards the heels, the sitting bones back towards the heels, and then walk the hands overhead and bring the forehead to the mat. If your forehead doesn't reach the mat, if you have a block, or if you want to put a rolled up towel down, or you can bring your hands together and rest your head on your hands. This practice, we don't use a lot of props because you guys are at home, and I don't use a lot of props personally in my home practice. If I have them and they're in a class, I love them, but from here, use what you have. Take a deep breath. If you're not supporting the forehead with your hands, you can go ahead and extend them up overhead, opening up the shoulders, stretching through the back. And then let's come back to all fours. I'd like you to tuck your toes, bring the knees together. We're going to sit back on our heels. A lot of people don't like this pose. This is great for stretching out your feet and getting ready for like your downward dog or other positions where you stretch through the through the feet. Let's rock back to all fours, and we're gonna push up to down dog. So you might wanna separate your feet a little bit, separate your knees. We're gonna push the hips back. Knees are straight, not locked. You don't want them locked. Maybe a little bit of bend in the knees. Think about the forefinger, the weight on the hands coming between the thumb and the forefinger. Clearly I have a little congestion that presented when I went upside down. Excuse me. Bring the head is relaxed. Think about the sit bones coming high and the heels pressing down towards the floor. So you have that nice strong stretch through the back of the legs. And then we're gonna come down into plank. So we're gonna gently and slowly rock forward. If plank is too much for you, this is actually a really strong core exercise. Go ahead and drop your knees. Come into a half plank. This is it's very active position, very strong. Think about keeping your straight line. Let's push it back to down dog. Come to rest in down dog. So lifting the knees, lifting the hips. Snorting through the congestion. Sorry, that's kind of gross, I know. I do apologize. And then let's come on back down to all fours. Sitting back on the heels, this time with the toes tucked. Not tucked, but released. So the tops of the feet are on the floor. We're gonna come into Thunderbolt for just a moment, changing the energy up just a little bit and getting the blood flow to where we can stand up safely. So let's go ahead and come to standing. We've only got a couple minutes, a few more minutes. We've got 12 more minutes, and I like to leave some time for your Shavasana, make sure I'm in frame. We're gonna do, gosh, there's just so much good stuff, and I hadn't really thought ahead about which sequence I'd like to do. So let's go ahead and do the warrior sequence. It feels really active and really strong, and I'm feeling like today's a good day for that. So come to mountain pose. Check that your feet are firmly on the floor. I like to bring my big toes together and let my heels come apart a little bit. I like to check my knees, maybe shake them out. Think about the tailbone being pointed straight down towards the floor so the pelvis is adjusted just a little. And then I roll the shoulders, release the arms by my side, crown of the head towards the sky. Take a moment in mountain pose. This is an active pose, clearly not a difficult one, but still active. So be active, be present in the pose. Don't anticipate what's coming. Just rest here. Find your breath. Come back to the mind, quiet the mind. And then blink open the eyes. We're going to bring the palms together at heart center and inhale up, overhead. Take a back bend if it's in your practice and that's comfortable for you. And we're going to fold forward. If you can reach the hands down to the mat. This is, we're going to rest here for a moment, so take a couple breaths. If you want to feel the stretch through the backs of your legs, and keep your knees straight, not locked, but straight. If you would prefer to have, if the backs of the legs are tight, go ahead and bend the knees. You can go ahead and bring the torso down to rest on the thighs and have that release in your lower back. So take a moment here, feel the stretch. Enjoy the stretch, find what works for you. And then we're gonna step back. Today we're gonna lead with the left. So I'm stepping back with my left foot. I'm gonna go in and come into my lunge. So I'm having to change my stance a little bit because of my mat and the placement of it and make sure I'm still in frame. So find your alignment. My knee is over my ankle. I've got a nice long, my left leg is straight out behind me. The toes on the floor, the heel is lifted. Now this is a good active pose for stretching the hips. Take a moment, drop your left hip down towards the floor, and then we're gonna walk this back foot in just a little bit. We're gonna turn it out 45 degrees, so the heel is back, the toes are front. We're gonna windmill it up into our warrior. Now I am gonna check my stance here. Beautiful. So from here, again, check your alignment, the knee is still over the ankle. I can look down and see my big toe just beyond my knees. My gaze is going across my right fingertips. This is a good strong pose. I want you to focus on feeling the weight on the outer edge of your back foot. So see what that does to your alignment when you focus that way. And then we're going to bend the right arm. We're going to bring the forearm down to the thigh. Take the left arm directly up to the sky. If you want a little deeper stretch, extend it up overhead. Bringing the bicep right next to your ear. If the neck will allow, take the gaze high. And remember what I said about feeling that weight on the outside of your foot? Feel it now, because I want you to think about the energy coming all the way from the outside of that foot up your body and right out through your fingertips. Then we're going to inhale, coming back up to warrior. Straighten that right leg if you need to, if it's burning. Keep it bent, bend it back again. Bring my stance a little smaller. We're going to flip our warrior. So I'm going to reach forward, flip my right hand, and then bring it up. My right leg is still bent. My right arm is up to the sky. My left leg is resting on my left thigh. And if you want to reach a little higher, feel that stretch through the right side body. Remember to breathe. Sometimes that's actually the hardest part. Inhale back up. We're going to come into our triangle. So straighten your right leg. Shift your left hip to the back just a little, reaching the right hand towards the front of your room or towards the right. And then just hinge at the waist. Bringing the right hand down where it's comfortable, if that's on your thigh, or maybe you have a block or a chair or stool. And take your left hand up to the sky. Think about your alignment as if both shoulders were up against a wall behind you, so you're nice and strong. So you don't want it, when you come down, you don't want to come forward. Not that kind of movement. It's just a drop in a straight line. We're going to inhale back up, bend that right leg. We're going to swing it back around to our lunge. Take a moment here, feel that hip. Might feel a little bit more loose, and then step it forward. Drop it to your forward fold. We're going to inhale the arms out and up. Nice back bend if you want it. Palms together, hands to heart center. Relaxing mountain for just a moment. We're going to do it again on the other side. I'm going to switch directions here. So I'm going to be facing towards you. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to go a little bit more quickly on this side. So I'm coming in my forward fold. I'm going to stretch the backs of my legs. I'm going to bend my knees and just gently release the lower back. I'm going to try one more time to straighten those knees and feel how it feels. I'm going to bring my focus down in front of me, bend the knees, hands to the floor, step the right foot back. Find your lunge, find where you're comfortable. Sorry, I'm just adjusting. If the gaze comes out 45 degrees in front of you or directly in front, drop that right hip just a little. Feel how it shifts the alignment, changes the stretch. And then we're going to turn that right foot back. The heel comes down, out 45 degrees. We're going to bend that right leg and windmill it open to your warrior. Check your alignment. Fix your clothes if you have to. I didn't wear the right shirt today, y'all. It's all driving me crazy. Nice, strong warrior. Keep it here, y'all. Feel the burn. We need this. We need to wake up our bodies and make sure we're still doing all the right things for it. Bring the forearm down to the thigh. Right arm comes up overhead. Nice stretch. Feel it through the outside of that foot all the way up to their fingertips is one of my favorites. Nice active stretch. Don't be lazy. And then inhale, back up to warrior. We're going to reverse our warrior. So we're going to reach forward, flip the left hand up, bring it up high. If you want to take it to the back wall, keeping your left leg bent. Y'all, my leg is burning. I know your leg's burning too. Breathe through it. Let's inhale up. Release that left leg and straight knee. Take your breath. And then shift this right hip back just a little. Reaching forward, reaching to the left, right over your left toe with that left hand, and then hinging at the waist, coming into your triangle. Think about your shoulders squared. And the hand is wherever you're comfortable. You don't have to come down far to feel the strength of this pose. And then we're going to inhale back up. Bend the left leg. Sorry, we're going to windmill it back down. Coming back into your lunge. Change your stance a little bit. Feel your lunge. And then let's step it forward. Exhale, forward fold. And then we're going to inhale, coming up in a reverse swan dive, arms overhead. Take your back bend if you want it. Exhale, back down to heart center. And release to mountain. And shake it off. And that feels especially good today. And I cannot believe we have 3 minutes left. So let's come back down to the mat. Coming down to your back. I complain all the time about how fast this class is, y'all. I need to just make it longer, don't I? I think it's just the right amount of time for people who are busy. Even though we're at home, I feel like I'm busier than ever. Knees are bent. Let's do our twist. So I like to shift my hips to the right, bring my knees in close to my chest, and then drop those knees to the left. So I'll say it again. I shifted my hips to the right, and I dropped my knees to the left. It just kind of helps to keep your back in alignment. I'm thinking, let me tell you why I do that. It just feels good. I get a better stretch out of it. Both shoulders are on the ground. I'm gonna look that up again. I feel like I should know that. Then we're gonna inhale back to center using your core. Find that, put the feet down, find that center line again. And then if you'd like, shift the hips to the left, knees come in close to the chest, drop it to the right. Keep your shoulders on the mat. Work your way into it. If it takes you a minute, that's okay. I'm just gonna tuck my ankle, my foot under my knee. Because I'm looking for the pop. I always get a good pop on this. I'm not getting it today. It's my shoulder. I'm not keeping my shoulder on the ground. So that's why it's important. And then let's bring it back to center. There's the pop. I got it. Find your center line. Release the legs down. Let the feet come out. The toes are falling out to the side of the mat. Arms by your side, palms up. Let's close the eyes. We're going to come into our deep relaxation. We're going to do a real quick one. It's very important, though, to always come to your Shavasana at the end of your practice, the end of your physical practice, your mindfulness practice. Do a quick scan of the body from the toes and the feet, up the legs to the hips, your torso, your chest, the shoulders, the arms and fingers. Come up to the shoulders, up the neck, to the head. My favorite, the lips, the teeth, the tongue. Release any tension you're holding there from the eyes and the forehead. Take a minute. Do a quick scan of the body and just send a mental note. If you're holding any tension anywhere, to relax, to release, and forget about it. Your breath can just be a nice, slow, regular, natural breath. Take yourself in your mind to a place that it brings comfort, it's warm, it's safe, it's peaceful. Allow yourself to be in that place and really hear it and see it and feel it. Any thought that comes into your mind to disturb you, bring you away from that place, that's okay. Let those thoughts in. Those thoughts are going to come anyway. Acknowledge them and then let them go. Like clouds in a blue sky or a leaf on a stream. And all that's left is this peaceful feeling you found, this easy breath. Take just a few seconds and enjoy this peace you found on your own. I do recommend staying in your Shavasana for 10 or 15 minutes. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and wiggle the fingers and toes and bring the awareness back into my body. If you'd like to remain in your Shavasana for a little longer, that's fine. As you change the energy, go ahead and roll to one side or another. And then when you're ready, if you can, with your eyes closed, keeping your eyes closed, come on up to your seated position where you started the practice, or keeping your gaze down, just trying to maintain that sense of peace you may have found in your Shavasana. And then coming back to the seat, finding that space in your body. How does your body feel different than when you started? Just acknowledge that. Take a deep breath in, into the belly, and then let it all go, releasing any leftover tension you might be holding. Offer yourself appreciation for coming to your mat today, doing something amazing for yourself, for your body, for your mind, hitting the reset button. I appreciate you being here and sharing your space with me. And as my teacher always used to say, may the entire universe be filled with love and light, joy and peace. Namaste. Thanks everybody for coming. I'm gonna just close out. Patty, if you wanna, I'll catch up with you again soon, okay? And for my Facebook people, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow morning at 9:30 is faith yoga. Always, this hair is always a mess. I'm gonna end the recording here.